Hello everybody, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Christian's Weather and Forecasting. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a tutorial video. This video is going to be how to use Radar Omega. Anything from alerts to getting notifications directly to your phone or computer is going to be in this video, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. So right here is Radar Omega. We're in right here, and first thing I am going to kind of just show off is all these little gray things right here are radars. If you're looking at a severe weather area or something like that, or winter weather, you'll have to swap to these. So let's say I am looking at Louisville, for example, and there's a storm over in Louisville, but as well as that, there's a storm over in Portland. To see that storm specifically, you would have to switch over to the Portland radar. Some of the radars are different colors. For example, if we zoom in down here to Tennessee, not Tennessee, but Kentucky. Kentucky has a Cincinnati radar right here that it's not showing for some reason. Okay, so for some reason the radar I was going to point out isn't there, but for example, these radars that are up here towards areas like Bismarck or something, the different colors just mean different things. You'll have to click on it to see what it means. Sometimes there's short reflectivities or whatnot. It just depends on the radar itself. So let's go ahead and dive into the actual radars. The single site radar is this thing where you can see the velocity, the reflectivity, or the actual storms, the winter weather, etc., as well as a CC. But then you have MRMS, and MRMS for the most part shows you everything in the United States. The MRMS radar does not have velocity, so you'll need to use a single site radar for that. But example, we can see the rain up here in Canada all the way down to the rain down here in San Francisco. And with this, you can pause it if you'd like to see everything, but you can change it from precipitation totals to active hail, because the single site radar does not have hail reports. You can see all the winter weather, like for example the snow that's up here in Canada. In the future, some snow that'll be moving off to the northeast, so that's how you would view that. Now, to view some of this other stuff, you do need a subscription. The subscriptions range from anywhere from $4 to $12. That would be something that I specifically, as a weather person on YouTube, would recommend. You don't have to use it for the base app, but for extra features, like for example the HRRR and the NAM3K, which we'll get to in a second, I do recommend buying either at least the beta or the alpha version, which range from anywhere from $9 to $12. If we arrange to the display settings, it makes everything like from the map type. So you can change, like for example, if you want a satellite map, you want a terrain map, road type map, etc. You can see anything from city road layers. You can change your time from either UTC or local. You have location settings, and then you have Mac Radicals, day and night time layer, etc. Things like that under here. If we move over to radar settings has full coverage radar, which is, the single site and whatnot. You have a reflectivity gate filter, which kind of just changes the color and all that, to help you to declutter your radar and all that, which it says right here. You can see storm tracks or previous storm tracks, which I don't recommend if you're looking at an outbreak or something like that, because it just clutters up the radar even more. You have a unit of measure. You can scan, you can get an audible alert for different scans. The show range ring, which if you're looking at the radar, it has like a range ring around to show you where it's at. There's color tables for velocity and reflectivity. And then you can change your feed from either Radar Omega or Allison House, my bad. Recommended, just stick with Radar Omega unless you know what Allison House is. Now we move over to the MRMS settings. Actually, I'm going to click this on. Once again, we have reflectivity gate, we have the scan alert, we have the unit of measurement, and the color tables. Right here for model settings, we have temperatures, we have wind speeds, we have the color tables, we have a system playback system down here, and then we have all of this other stuff that you can customize and whatnot if you would like to. And then if we go to the satellite settings, not really much here except the sector playback and the audible alert. Down to outlooks and monitoring, you have the severe weather thing. This specifically, the outlooks is the same thing as going to the National Weather Service outlooks page. It shows you day 1, 2, 3 with the probabilistic for 3, the tornado, the wind, and the hail. Also shows you the day 4 through 8, and you can customize it with however you would like. This specifically does come from the National Weather Service and Allison House, things like that. If we go over to tropical weather, this shows you everything involved in the tropics. You do have to have this enabled for it to show you anything, so here's all this to enable it. You don't have to have all of this, but past track and intensity, cone, projected track, etc. The wind probability, this will show you the probabilistics of what is to come. If we go to discussions and outlooks, this is basically a mesocyclone discussion. A mesoscale discussion, my bad, I just caught myself. Like the tropical genesis outlook, and it'll tell you like what's to come, all of that stuff. And then you have hurricane hunters, which will give you reports based off hurricanes and whatnot. Hydrological outlook's basically the same thing as the severe outlook. It shows you excessive rainfall from 1 to 3, 4 to 5, and then once again you can customize that. Moving on to fire weather, the same thing. You have days 1 and 2. You can view the conditions in the dry thunderstorms. And then over here you have a weekly drought monitor that you can enable. I currently don't have that enabled just due to the fact that I don't really use it often. If we go to winter weather is one of the common things that I use. If you enable these, it'll show you on the map where is the highest probability of snow is. So if we turn that on, for example, over here, don't know why it's in the middle of the water, but you can see right there that it's enabled where it shows you that slight risk of 4+ inches of snow. And you can do that from day 1 to 3, probability of ice for the same. And then there's a severity index that you can enable, and it'll show you basically when that's enabled all of these things to see what that is. Climatological outlooks is basically anything from temperature to precipitation. You can once again customize that. The mesoscale discussions is one of the important things that I would recommend 100% keeping enabled on all of these. This will show you what the National Weather Service is predicting, whether it's going to be a tornado watch being possible, a severe thunderstorm watch, the storms developing in a specific area. So severe winter precipitation, you can customize it as you would like, but I do recommend all of these being on. You can turn it on right here, and then it'll show you right here. And then weather alerts is one of the second things that you need to have enabled. There's anything from tornado warnings to severe thunderstorm warnings, all the way down to tornado watches, tropical hurricane warnings, winter blizzard warnings, all of that stuff. Actually, I need to enable these myself. And then if we move over to non-precipitation, red flag warnings, excessive heat, hydrological flood, and then fire, the extreme fire danger fire weather watch. So all of these, I don't have all of them enabled, but I would recommend having these for the most part enabled. If you're looking at these things right here, you can change the colors for them. So for example, I have the STR as red, the tornado warning as pink. If you go to the settings, you can make it flash, which I have a flash set for 45 seconds. And if you've been listening with the audio on through the duration of this video, you may have heard a kind of like a chirping sound, and that is things being added to the radar, which is what this sound notification is. I will play that for you. I don't know if you hear that, but if you did, that's what it sounds like. And then over here you can set up your notification settings with anything from push notifications to your phone, to desktop alert, to desktop notifications, things like that. The METARS section is where you can get a detailed display. You can get temperature, wind direction, visibility, things like that. If we go over to marine tools is pretty self-explanatory. It's things for the water where you can locate buoys and whatnot. If we go over to the surface fronts, this is something that is really cool that's built into Radar Omega. If we enable that, it'll show us everything from the cold to the cold lines to the warm lines, the highs and the low pressure systems. So that is once again a pretty cool thing to have. For the videos, I don't necessarily use this. I normally keep this off for the most part, but it is cool to see and it is cool to have there. Right here we have storm reports, and right now there aren't any storm reports active on the map, but let's say there's a tornado and somebody issues a report for it. If you have these on from anywhere from 30 minutes to 72 hours, it will show that report for the time length. We can also search you can also search a date range. So, for example, the December 9th and 10th outbreak, where we had multiple tornadoes and enhanced risks. You can see all these tornado reports. You can see the historical data. Up here, we have more tornado reports towards the Clarksville tornado. Down here to the south where Florida is, we have these tornadoes down here as well. So this is once again something that I do recommend having because it's pretty cool to see those reports. Once again, this can be pretty cluttered. So just use it to your own good. Down here we have tropical, we have flood, and then we have the other section which has water spouts and whatnot. So I do recommend having that on once again. If you don't want to though, that's fine. There is also lightning detection, which will change every 1 minute to have a set. You can change your time interval. You can also have a lightning animation, which I once again forgot to enable. So this is pretty cool to see those severe storms and the amount of lightning that those storms do have. Down here to next rad, it will show you the hail type, and you can change the interval from anywhere from 30 minutes to 24 hours. And then once again, here's the spotter network. I'm not going to link this just yet. This may be a different video. But you can change all the intervals, and you can see the different spotters that are online, the Skywarn spotters. Down here to the bottom, you have custom locations where you can set your own location. You have the Cyclone Port Network, self-explanatory. It takes you to their website. You have device settings where you can add devices, and then you have everything from their Twitter, their Facebook, their how-to guides, keyboard shortcuts. If you're on mobile, this specifically won't have it. Your profile, latest update info for Radar Omega, and then a support FAQ. Getting back into the models a little bit, convection allowing has the HRRR and the NAM3K. The NAM3K goes out a little bit further, and it's a little bit more inaccurate. That's the only difference. The NAM12K and the RAT, pretty much the same thing, but more regional areas. Global, the GFS model, and the ECMWF, so that's basically the whole world. And then tropical, the HWRF and the HMON, where you can see the water. Down here to the satellite is 100% self-explanatory. It shows you over mainly the most part of the United States based off of satellite data. So right here we can see the satellite data based off of Hawaii. You can change this, but just for the sake of the video, I specifically put it on Hawaii, and you can see the clouds and stuff that are here right here. So this is pretty cool for the most part too. And then if we use forecasts, 100%, I don't use this, so I'm not 100% what this is specifically, but it's the NDFD, so you can click it, fiddle with it, what you would like. I 100% don't know what that is because I don't necessarily use it, but you can look and see if you would like. Now let's dive into some of the buttons. Down here to the frames, this will show you how fast the storms move. So for example, if you want it to be choppy as it moves over the radar, or if you want it just to be smooth, you can change anywhere from 7 frames to 250 frames. Over here towards the play button is the button where you can use the playback within a 5-10 minute period. So for example, if we zoom in down here to Tampa, this is within the last 5-10 minutes. This is everything that's happened. This is the only place where there's really any storms with the convection wise. You can also hold this down and you can drag it how you would like. Which is pretty cool. I know a lot of people ask about this specifically. I was one of those people. If you click right here, you can set a location. If you click this button right here, I'm not going to dive into it really because it'll open it up, but this is a photo section, so you can take photos with the Radar Omega watermark. This button right here shows you the DBZ of storms. So for example, if we layer it right on these storms, it'll show you the color DBZ and all that. If we click the dice icon, it gives you a second screen. And this is something that if you are a streamer or whatever, I do recommend 100%, because what you can do is with this, like for example, I will remove my webcam for a second, but if you are looking at the reflectivity on this side, you can come over here and you can change it to the velocity. On this side, you can get a good photo. You can zoom in and whatnot. As well as that, you could possibly, let's say there's a tornado on the ground, you can change it to the HCC, and you can view that while you're looking at the velocity over here, something like that. This next tool is a pretty cool feature for predicting. Let's say there's a storm here in Destin. Destin is right here in Florida, and let's say we are looking for Albany, and the storm is moving northeast at 56 miles an hour. With the alerts, like for example, if this was a severe thunderstorm warning or something like that, in the description, it will mainly have something that will tell you how fast the storm is moving for this tool. So what you want to do is from Destin up to Albany, you can release that and you will set its track, and we said that it's 56 miles an hour, the storm's moving, and so we click that, and this tells you all the locations that would possibly be impacted by the storm, anywhere from Destin all the way out here to Albany, and it gives you a estimated time limit, not 100% accurate, because once again storms do change, but for the main part it's actually a really cool tool to forecast and predict with. Now if we move to the second tool, we can check the amount of how a length something has happened. It's kind of like a measurement tool. So let's say that a tornado touched down in Destin and once again lifted in Albany. We can track the amount from Destin to Albany, and that is about 166 miles. You can see up here in the top left. This button down here just enables and re-enables the single site radar buttons. And then right here, you've probably seen me using this. You can scribble and you can draw and whatnot. You can't access any other tools while this is active, but you can customize the color and all that. So that is a pretty cool tool as well. I've once again removed my webcam, but now over here we can look at the 3D models. You can change this between 2D and 3D, and looking at this in a 3D point of view, you can see it kind of a little bit right here. I don't see how this is much of a use specifically, but you can use this if you would like. And then if we're looking at the button up here, this is 297 alerts. Depending on what alerts you have enabled, it will show you all of this. For example, flash flood warning. You can use this little icon and it will take you to where that is. So for example, right here is where that icon is. You'll have to zoom out a little bit to see where it's actually at. But right here towards the Grand Junction, Colorado Springs area, in between there, the south of Steamboat Springs is where that's at. Mainly right now, the things that if you have it enabled, the things you're going to see is winter alerts where it's winter time. Non-precipitation is a possibility. Hydro is a possibility. And towards southern Florida, not Florida, but Texas, where that red flag warning will be in effect. So if you stuck with me for this through this part of the video, I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys find this helpful and useful. I put a lot of time into recording this and whatnot. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to put them in the chat box or the comment section. I don't mind to answer them, and I hope I can be helpful. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.